Aficionados que viven la intensidad del fútbol americano, les damos la bienvenida a una nueva semana en la Liga Minnesota y tenemos varias actividades previas al partido. La primera, recordar quiénes fueron los ganadores de la semana anterior. Ya los tenemos aquí. Fernando Álvarez, quarterback de los Vikingos, y Fernando Zamudio, cornerback de los Vikingos. Por la americana, Trevor Lawrence, quarterback de los Jaguares, y Franklin Myers a la defensiva de los Jets. Bien, comencemos entonces con el primer breakout. Es para ayudar a un linebacker. Chris Álvarez, linebacker externo, le habla al coach. Coach, nadie contiene esta defensa por sus altos estándares como el mío. Siempre he tratado de liderar con mi ejemplo. Hice algunas jugadas la última semana, pero tengo más que dar. Si quiero que esta defensiva juegue como los All Pros, los titulares tienen que estar conmigo. Entonces, estoy planeando un manejo sencillo para destruir a la ofensiva de los Panteras esta semana, y espero que el resto de la defensiva me siga mi liderazgo. Contener a las Panteras en menos de 150 yardas totales, o que Chris Álvarez tenga 3 o más intercepciones o balones forzados para fumble, o tenga varias tacleadas para pérdida de yardaje, o tenga varias capturas de quarterback. Ok, ya tenemos. Hay un jugador listo para negociar, según esto. Ok, Osborne. No manches, hijo, espérame.
Choose from 4 preset offers that range in level of risk.
Perdón, pero esto es lo más que te voy a ofrecer, amigo, si te interesa. ¿Qué edad tienes? No, sí, nada más. Esto es lo que te voy a ofrecer. Bueno, pues no te gustó, ni modo. Ni modo. Muy bien. Ahora vamos a evaluar al titular de la posición de quarterback de la temporada. La prensa, hay una rueda de prensa. Coach, su equipo ha jugado realmente muy bien al principio de la temporada. Y está teniendo un inicio brillante. ¿Cuánto de esto es por el quarterback Fernando Álvarez? Su contribución no puede entenderse si no se entiende que el equipo tiene realmente un juego completo. Todo el equipo contribuye y todos hacen que funcione este equipo ganador. Por lo tanto, no depende de uno solo, sino de una mentalidad de equipo. Y por esa mentalidad de equipo, el plan es ganarle a las Panteras. Ay. Muy bien, ahora tenemos que la estrategia de la semana nos dice que Kirk Cousins es el quarterback de las Panteras, un gran quarterback, ya veteranazo, pero muy bueno. Y pues el plan de juego va a estar enfocado en cuidar los pases largos. Pero vamos a ver cómo están los fatigos. No, todos están bien. Parece que nadie está cansadillo, por lo tanto vamos a dejarlo así. Vamos a al plan de la ofensiva. Y tenemos a un linebacker que es muy bueno, Brian Burns. Y pues mejorar los pases bajo presión, tener un buen bloqueo de pases, correr las rutas cortas y cachar en la counter blitz, en las jugadas de presión. Ok. ¿Y cómo andan los fatigosos? Uy, no. Primero lo voy a poner hot bats. Al quarterback lo voy a poner en splits. Al halfback también. Y a los wide receivers. Les guste o no, así lo quiero. Y perdón, vámonos ya. Y pues aquí están los jugadores que hay que enfocarse. Iniciamos los entrenamientos que pues no nos dejan ir, ¿verdad? No hemos logrado establecer la mecánica para ver los entrenamientos, pero bueno, no importa. Tenemos que Alex está medio fatigoso, Fernando Álvarez más o menos. Son realmente los dos jugadores de la ofensiva que presentan cierta fatiga. Por el lado de la defensiva, todos están en buen estado. Por lo tanto, esperemos que el juego sea bastante bueno. Ahora vamos a ver los objetivos que el head coach tiene pensados. Van a ganar la batalla de los turnover battle, de los balones perdidos, que no es algo que normalmente le exige al coordinador ofensivo la máxima, que es 400 o más yardas por ofensiva. Al coordinador defensivo, si no cambia su mentalidad, vamos a tener que prescindir, tiene que ser the best. Y pues este es el plan de juego de cada semana. 5 o más touchdowns por tierra. No hay menos. Algo menos que eso, inaceptable. Por lo tanto, vamos a ver, ¿verdad que todo está ya en orden? No tenemos nada raro que informar. Bien, pues parece ser que todo está listo para irnos al juego. Mandamos cámaras y micrófonos al estadio de las Panteras de Carolina. Y nosotros volveremos al final del encuentro. Los dejamos en la transmisión original de nuestros colegas de la cadena norteamericana EA Sports. Que se diviertan.
today. From Bank of America Stadium in Charlotte, North Carolina, it's Week 4 of the NFL on EA Sports. It's the Carolina Panthers taking on the Minnesota Vikings.
Just a spectacular afternoon for football here in the Tar Heel state of North Carolina as EA Sports welcomes you inside Bank of America Stadium in Uptown Charlotte. Today it's Week 4 and we've got what should be a great one here as it'll be the Minnesota Vikings taking on the Carolina Panthers. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, we look at this Panther ball club as they interplay here. They were winners last time out, so they'll be looking, Charles, to make it 2 in a row.
And what I enjoyed when I watched their game tape and their victory last week is they put it together in every phase. Good offense, good defense, and some key plays on special teams. Let's see if they can get that second win in a row.
And no run back on the opening kickoff. It'll come out to the 25. So here are the Panthers now for their opening drive. Bringing them out, a guy who's top 30 all-time in yards and touchdowns. Not bad for a fourth-round pick back in 2012. Captain Kirk Cousins.
And one nice thing you can always say about Kirk Cousins is that he's consistent. Always puts up nice numbers each and every year. If there is a downside to his game, it's been the lack of playoff success. All in all, though, a formidable starting quarterback at a time in the league where it's tough to find your franchise guy.
Now the first play of the drive there is incomplete. He was looking for Miles Sanders out of the backfield, but it'll be second down. You look at this defense for the Vikings. They were excellent last week in the win over the Chargers.
One thing you always look for when you're evaluating a defense, how opportunistic are they? How many takeaways do they get? How about last week's game? The number was 6. Phenomenal performance.
He'll get only 3 there, so it leaves him with a 3rd and 7 ahead. So 7 yards from the first down here as they come up to the line of scrimmage. On 3rd down, Cousins. And this is going to be incomplete.
That was their first 3rd down try of the game, and clearly something was off in the execution of that play. Good news, they've got a whole game left to clean that up and start clicking on those key 3rd down throws.
On is the punter Hecker as he gets this one away. It'll be a net of 40 yards following a punt of 44. And the Vikings will take over here 1st and 10. So here's the Viking offense making their way out. And they will be led out by their rookie quarterback.
And he's playing at a very high level here in this early part of the season. In fact, he leads the NFL in passing yards. Now, that's not always an indicator of success, but in his case, it is.
They'll start on the ground here on 1st down. And they'll wind up getting this to the 37. Gain of 9. These are his numbers from last week's contest. And Charles, how do you think he ran the football?
I thought he definitely had his moments. I did think that they could have utilized him a little bit better, and I'm definitely going to keep an eye on him to see how they're going to use him this week.
So from the 37, here's 2nd down and 1. On play action, they'll throw. He's going to fire one deep, middle of the field. And this is taken in at the 5. Touchdown. A big play there with touchdown number 7 on the year. And the Vikings are on the board first here this afternoon. Well, Charles, kind of the future of this franchise on display right there. You had a rookie throwing it, a rookie catching it, and taking it into the end zone.
Could you imagine if we were in the owner's box right now and we could look at the front office and see the grins on their faces, to see the present making plays and knowing what the future will bring with these youngsters going out and making big-time moments happen for this team.
Point after, right down the middle. And that makes the score 7-0. Pretty clean and simple there. Just 2 plays. The long pass resulting in the touchdown on play number 2. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. And this will come out to the 25 as Hamler elects not to return it. The Panthers coming back out onto the field for their second drive. And the last drive, the first drive for them, not very good. 3 and out. What do they go to here?
Well, you don't look down at your play sheet and say, this is what the problem is. Now let's find out who my playmakers are. Get the ball in their hands, and maybe the offense will move a little bit better.
Sometimes it's more important to get it to the right people rather than dialing up the right number.
Exactly.
Or the right play, yeah.
That too.
One of the Panthers' big offseason acquisitions. Here's Miles Sanders. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
This defense is a difficult one to prepare for, one of the best in the league. They'll come at you from all angles, and they did a nice job there stopping him for a loss.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. Now Cousins. He'll fight his man, Laviska Shenault. And he gets this one just shy of the 40. They'll mark him down at the 39. His first catch, good for 14 there and a first down. So, Charles, defensively here, you're going up against a veteran quarterback. He's got a lot of know-how, a ton of savvy, but guy who's not the most mobile of quarterbacks. What's the plan of attack?
You spend all week pumping up your defensive front. Your defensive tackles, your defensive ends, your outside linebackers, the guys who go after the quarterback the most, because you know that he's not going to run and beat you consistently throughout the game. You can rush more aggressively off the edge and even up the middle, because even if he evades you, he's not going to go very far. You have a lot more confidence going after him in the pocket.
2nd and 5. Another run here with Sanders. And this is going to be a Panthers first down as he's got this up to the 45-yard line.
Usually we see runs like this as the defense breaks down later in the game, but this guy is setting the tone early, running through all types of tackles and put the defense back on its heels.
From Viking territory now, they'll come up 1st and 10 at the 45-yard line. A give running left. It's Sanders. Fights through, and now a crease. And down inside the 40 to about the 38. A solid run on first down. Gain of 7 leaves them with a 2nd and 3. This defense for the Vikings, they were excellent last week in the win over the Chargers.
And one of the key things you always look for when you're evaluating a defense is how opportunistic are they? How many takeaways do they get per game? And how about last week's game? That number, 6. Absolutely phenomenal performance. They were on top of their game right from the first snap.
It's a Carolina first down on a gain of 16. A much different second drive here, Charles. They go 3 and out the first time. This time they've been able to sustain something downfield.
And that's what often happens. You get the game started. You know, you have to get your footing underneath you. You have to get used to the flow of the game, the speed of the game. And sometimes that first drive is more of a probing drive. It appears they found something here in the second one.
They run with a third-year man, Chuba Hubbard. And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
Yes, indeed. That play there, that reminds me of some of the guys that I played with. They have that suddenness, able to get into the backfield almost about the time the ball snapped and make a play. How about that tackle for a loss?
Absolutely. He did a lot of that last week when he was named the NFC Defensive Player of the Week. One of the guys on the team was saying, hey, yeah, we called him the disruptor, and that's carrying forward again.
Makes sense, doesn't it?
Maybe just a slight detour on what's been a strong drive. Here's 2nd and 11.
Mike 40, check, he's covered.
To throw, Cousins. And this one into the hands of DJ Chark. That was the 8th play of the drive, so a somewhat fitting pickup of 8 yards. Here comes play number 9 now as they come up on a 3rd and 3. They'll try and run for it with Sanders. And he will have the first down before he's tackled at the 12. A 3rd down gain of 3 yards, and that'll be enough. The first drive this unit had, they punted. This drive, much more polished, just looking crisper, aren't they, moving the ball?
Maybe the first drive was a little bit of a wake-up call. Probably a little bit angry that they had to punt the ball away the first time they had it. Got motivated, got to the sideline, said, okay, let's not let that happen here as we take over again.
From down at the 12, it's 1st and 10.
Let's go, B, let's go.
Another run with Sanders. Able to fight through 1 tackle. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8. 2nd and 2.
A nice run here early on. It doesn't take a great play caller to realize you want to establish a guy of his caliber with runs like this early because they'll pay dividends as the game progresses.
We want it. Come to my world.
Cousins now. To the goal line, but it's incomplete. Down here in the red zone, you know your tight end's going to be a favorite target. Couldn't hang on.
And sometimes they just have to get out of their own head because they understand how tight.
Touchdown, Panthers. Hayden Hurst from 4 yards out. And the Panthers are an extra point away now from tying this ball game. There was no going through the progressions on that touchdown pass.
Yeah, nor was it necessary. His receiver won that route early, presented himself. No reason to wait. Go ahead and put it on him and score a touchdown.
Eddie Pinheiro now for the extra point. It's up and good. So these teams match touchdowns here in the first quarter, and we're tied 7-7. So all even at 7 now as they kick it away. And this will not be returned. It'll come out to the 25. The Vikings taking the field here for their 2nd drive of the game. So both of these teams, Charles, coming off touchdowns now, but this offense, they just had to stand on the sideline, watch their opponent author a really impressive drive to reach the end zone.
Yeah, and I think you're not telling yourself the truth if you don't think there's some one-upsmanship going on right now, because they just had their touchdown answered by a drive of double-digit plays that also found the end zone. Now they want to do something even more impressive to answer that one.
He was well over 100 yards last week. He told us this week, a little ambitious, said he wants to hit that 200 mark. We'll see.
Makes sense, though, doesn't it? Have we ever run into a running back that had a great game the week before?
Taking it right down Broadway. Inside the 10. Touchdown, Vikings. A great play there. With now 15 rushing touchdowns on the year. And the Vikings have taken the lead. Boy, Charles, this offense is just so explosive. They lead the league in scoring, and another example of just how good they are right there on that play.
Yeah, we often overstate about how explosive teams are, but this team is truly a threat to score on every snap, especially on the first few plays of any series. And a big strike like that only adds to their reputation as the league's best offense.
Now the try here for the extra point. It's up and good, and it's 14-7 now here in the first quarter. That drive started on their own 25. 2 plays, 75 yards later, into the end zone. Minnesota's kick team ready, and the Vikings boom it away. And this will come out to the 25 as Hamler elects not to return it. This offense returns to the field, and the former Penn State star Miles Sanders, we get a look at him. First month of the season, those numbers pretty solid. Does he continue that?
I think so, because when you come out of the gate this strong, that means that you have planned for it and you like the results that you're getting. So I wouldn't have any doubt that the head coach, offensive coordinator actually called him in and said, look, you're our guy, okay? We're going to continue to stick with this as long as we're winning games. You ready for the challenge? And then they presented it to the rest of the team. And I think we'll see plenty of that as this season moves on.
And I'm sure he said challenge accepted. On 1st and 10, it's Sanders. And that play is blown up, losing yardage back at the 35. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11. You look at this defense for the Vikings. It's quite a unit. Number 1 in the NFL against the pass.
And when you're getting ready to face the number 1 overall offense in the NFL, it does not matter where you rank defensively because you got your hands full. You don't know what you're going to face, but you know that that's a strong unit that you're getting ready for.
Looking at a 2nd and 11 now after the loss.
Let's go. Let's bring it. Let's bring it. Mike 40.
Here's Cousins. Open here, Adam Thielen. They get 6. That'll leave them with 3rd and 4.
He decided to run a hitch route. It really helped to have a guy who can turn it loose. And, boy, he rifled one in there on that one. Not much run after catch, but it worked really well.
Cousins from the gun on 3rd. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he is going to have a Panthers first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
That's a play that will likely be forgotten when you talk about big moments in this game. But plays like this are critical to keep drives going. And if points result, we'll call this play significant.
From Viking territory now, they'll come up 1st and 10 at the 49-yard line. They go play action. Cousins. Blitz coming, and down he goes. It'll be a loss of 7 on the sack, and it brings up 2nd. Partner, we had their game last week where they had 6 sacks, so a little bit more momentum here again in the first quarter.
And last week it appeared that they were coming out of sprinters blocks, chasing the quarterback. So how do they continue that? How do they keep making it happen? Different looks, different disguises, different angles that they chase him.
They were so disruptive last week. We'll see what the trend is here as we go forward. It's a 2nd down run with Sanders. It'll be a gain of about 5, but they're left with a 3rd and still about 12 to go. Through one quarter, 14-7 our score. Second quarter now from Charlotte, and it's the Panthers with the football as they've got it with a 3rd down coming. Now the hit comes, and Cousins lost the football. And this belongs to the Vikings.
Well, that's a down and distance coach is always talking about trying to avoid, isn't it? I mean, that's 3rd and long, and you just know they're pinning their ears back and coming after him, sometimes even with extra pressure.
And he knew that. I mean, he knew they were coming. He just fumbled it.
Yeah, he knew it. The offensive line knew it. Everyone did, yet the pressure was still there, and he ended up coughing it up.
They'll come out throwing here on 1st down. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. We always hear a lot of veterans on the defensive side of the football. They talk about smelling blood in the water, putting pressure on a rookie. They got to him there to force it free, but couldn't recover it.
And you mentioned the pressure. Rookie quarterback, you're going to bring more pressure at him at all times because you don't.
Launches deep. A jump ball, and this is caught. Now a battle for the football. It's caught. It's a touchdown. A great effort there. With his second touchdown of the game, number 8 on the season. And the Vikings are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. Now the extra point try forthcoming. It's good, and it is now 21-7. The long touchdown pass gets him 6 on a very, very tidy 2-play drive that time. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And this will come out to the 25 as Hamler elects not to return it. Now the Panthers and Miles Sanders headed out for another drive. And I'm wondering if maybe they don't go away from him on this drive a little bit. He's been great, but they haven't scored a lot of points.
I think they still have to show him as a threat. Make sure he touches it a few times. But as you pointed out, use him as a decoy a little bit and get the ball in the hands of some other people in order to put more points on the board. But he's done a really nice job of establishing them with his running.
Yeah, he's established himself well. Now can they put more points up?
That certainly appeared to be a play call where they were just trying to make second down, second and short. I think they thought the coverage was off a little bit more than it was. Nice job there pressing up.
Pressure coming from the Vikings, and they get there and bring him down. They push him back 8 yards that time on second down.
That's 3 sacks now, and that's not much of a surprise to me, nor should it be to you. This team, they lead the league in sacks.
Yeah, they do. This is something that we are starting to witness time and time again. Cousins with work to do after the sack as he brings his guys up on a 3rd and long. He'll look to throw. And pressure coming, and they got him once again. It'll be a loss of 8 on the sack, and it's going to lead him to 4th down.
He's the NFL sack leader coming into the game, and now that's 2 more that he's added to his total.
He wants some separation from spot 1 and 2 in that sack category. Here's Johnny Hacker now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. His first punt, 48 yards. This one looks equally as good. So a change of possession here on the punt. And it will be Vikings ball, 1st and 10. Getting set to go again as we look at the back, heading onto the field again. He's been good. His guys are winning. So far, the recipe working here in the 2nd quarter.
And he doesn't like to just tote the rock. He wants to carry his team on his back, and that's what he's done throughout this game.
Yeah, he's done that. He'll be hoping to continue that trend. Good starting field position for the Vikings as they have it 1st and 10 at their own 46. They'll start this drive out on the ground. And he gets this to the other side of midfield across the 45 before going out. 86 yards rushing for him as he has been tough to stop here this first half. We've seen him break off a big run already in this game, and for a second, that one looked like it might be another.
Yeah, I think that any defense would say, look, we can't let him get to the 2nd level because sometimes he'll break off the big run on his own, but oftentimes you get additional blocking at the 2nd level, which gets you deeper into the secondary.
See the athleticism there of Brian Burns stopping him behind the line. They'll have to deal with a 2nd and 14 now after the loss. Hands it off out of the gun. He'll get about 4 here, down to the 43-yard line.
When you find that kind of yardage, you couldn't be more confident as a ball carrier. And guess what? You're going to go back and tell your offensive coordinator, I'd like to keep carrying it, thank you.
On third down, he'll drop to throw. That is caught. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. 25 yards that time. And he's over 100 yards now after that last catch. Already, of course, leading the NFL in receiving yardage.
So he's done nothing at all to hurt his cause, to stay in that spot. But I've been so impressed with how he's gotten it done. Body control, route running. How about the way he competes for the football at the end of the play?
On first down, they'll go to the ground attack. And he gets it down close to the 10-yard line. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3.
This guy's well on his way now to a big game on the ground. It's another good run there. Puts him over the century mark in yardage, and we're still in the second quarter.
And he's able to work it here to the 8-yard line. 4 yards on the play, and that leads to the 1st and goal.
Look, I realize on any play call, when it's properly executed, it can go for a touchdown. But the runs that really make it work are the ones where you just get what you need, right? And he barely got the first down, but he got it.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And for one of the few times here today, this run's not going to go anywhere. No gain on the play that time, and it sets up 2nd and goal. One back in the backfield, he'll get the carry. And he will score. Touchdown, Vikings. A great play there with his 2nd touchdown here in this first half. And the Vikings take a 3-touchdown lead. Well, fair to say they've got something here in this rookie running back, and he's in for the 2nd time of the ball game.
And Brandon, it's a position where there's often a lot of turnover, a lot of competition at that spot. But he's proven to them that he wants to be the bell cow guy that his franchise can rely on.
Now for the point after. He knocks it through. It's 28-7. So that drive in total 8 plays. And in the end, it's capped off by a 7-yard run. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And this will come out to the 25 as Hamler elects not to return it. This offense returns to the field, and the former Penn State star Miles Sanders, we get a look at him. And the ground game's been good, but they're losing here in the 2nd quarter. Can they use that ground game maybe to work the air attack a little bit more?
I think so, because now you can throw play action off of being able to run the ball effectively. And oftentimes you might want to just swing your back out of the backfield and get the ball in his hands in open space. And just don't get totally away from running it, because some of these runs now, they may pop bigger as the game goes along.
Yeah, they've been good with the run so far.
Quarterbacks work all the time on manipulating a defense with their eyes and their head movement. In this case, he just stared the receiver down. That allowed for excellent coverage, able to knock that one away.
So the incompletion, and now it's 2nd and 10, again from the 25-yard line. Cousins to throw it. Oh, that's into a double team, and it's intercepted. And he is going to bring this back inside the 20 to the 18-yard line. Boy, we've seen a lot of mistakes here in this first half, and another there on the interception.
Yeah, they're certainly starting to pile up, aren't they? Because, let's face it, we expect a miscue here and there, but they're already down 3 scores and still giving the ball away. If they want to get back into this one, they've got to take care of the ball, because right now the way they're playing doesn't say a whole lot for their chances.
So from inside the 20, here's 1st and 10 at the 18. From the gun, he'll hand this off. Able to push his way through. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. A great effort there. On his way to a monster game, 3 first-half touchdowns. And the Vikings continue to pull away here in this first half. Week after week, Charles, when we see this offense operate, I don't know, they just seem to get more impressive.
They certainly do, and let's face it, it's no surprise they're the best in the NFL in scoring. This team designs things well and executes even better. And here, it only takes a few snaps before they're in the end zone. That's how they demoralize teams. That's how they put them on notice.
Extra point forthcoming. And he's been a busy man, 5 for 5 now as he knocks another one through to extend the lead. Well, they got the ball in great field position. One play later, boom, end zone. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And this will come out to the 25 as Hamler elects not to return it. Now the Panthers and Miles Sanders headed out for another drive. They're behind in the first half here, CD, but it's not through any faults of their running back. He's had a strong start to this one.
And you're right about that, partner, because watching him play, you would think that his team is in the lead. He has been a lot of fun in this contest. Now let's see if they can actually make something happen and put more points on the board behind his efforts.
Yeah, I'm curious to see, Charles, if they can play complementary football and get that passing game going as well. Try to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. Oh, everything falling apart now. Another one intercepted. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown. A big play there by the rookie. An interception followed by the return for 6 points.
If you want to be accepted by your teammates and coaching staff, make plays like that.
Out comes the kicking team here for the extra point. And the route is on here in this first half. A heck of a play there defensively, getting the interception, navigating his way into the end zone for the touchdown. So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. And this will come out to the 25 as Hamler elects not to return it. The Carolina offense about ready to go. Now they've sort of lost their way, partner. How do they recalibrate and get this proverbial train back on track?
Well, this is where leadership really comes into play. How's the head coach handling it? The offensive coordinator? Sometimes they just make a joke. All right, guys, you had your fun? All right.
Throw it out the window.
Yeah, let's get back on track here. And sometimes that'll work just fine.
I guess it's time now to lean on that leadership. They start on the ground here at Sanders. And a short pickup to about the 27. It'll be second down. They'll break the huddle, come up on 2nd and 8 at the 27-yard line.
Switch up. Check. 45.
Sanders toss left side, and he'll wind up losing yardage here back at the 21-yard line. It goes as a loss of 6, and now 3rd down.
The job of any linebacker involves having enough strength to fight off a blocker and get to ball carriers, but in this case, I think we can safely say he beat him right off the snap to get into the backfield and make that play.
The Panthers on 3rd down. They've hit it 50%, 3 of 6 to this point. This is 3rd and 14.
Oh, here we go. Oh, Mike 40.
Throwing is Cousins. To the right side and complete to Hurst. And he'll be stopped at the 27-yard line, well short of the first down marker. And that's good for a gain of 6. And that's going to make it 4th down.
Such a tough position to defend near the line, even when you add a second defender, but the big man shrugged off the extra body and made the play call a success.
So on 4th down, here's Johnny Hekker to punt it away. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. Oh, a heck of a move.
Man.
A 40-yard punt, no return, and out will come the offense as they take over. A look at the running back, the man out of the backfield as he gears up to go again. He's already cruised past the 100-yard mark. We haven't even gone away for halftime yet.
He might not want halftime. All right, why cool off?
Keep everybody here.
Let's stay out on the field and keep going. But all that being said, everything is really working well for them. The play calling's been excellent, the blocking's been terrific, and obviously his vision and legs have hurdled him to this big number so far. We could be seeing something really special here.
And we'll see how much they give him the ball here. A gain of 3, 2nd down.
Not a huge carry there on 1st down, but not all of them will be. But still, all in all, a positive play for the offense. It's all about picking up at least a few to set up what you're going to do here on 2nd down.
Here's a 2nd and 7. He's going to fire one deep over the middle. Got a man, it's caught inside the 10. A big play there for Minnesota. 67 yards.
That's how you flip field position. What a play right there. That nearly went the distance. Credit this defense for not giving up. They get him down just short of the goal line, but the damage is done. It's going to be 1st and goal from an ideal position.
Now this is going to be a quarterback draw. And he will score. Touchdown, Vikings. It's a 1-yard touchdown run. And the Vikings have taken a 6-touchdown lead.
That's a great alternative there to the old-fashioned quarterback sneak. Instead, let your quarterback take it in the shotgun and essentially choose his own path. He scans the situation, makes the right read, and takes it into the end zone on the QB draw.
Point after here coming up. And the route is on here in this first half. Scoring summary, 3-play drive, and it's polished off by a Viking score. Minnesota's kick team ready, and the Vikings boom it away. And this will come out to the 25 as Hamler elects not to return it. Carolina getting set to take the field. And Charles, a very uninspired effort. The last time we saw them out there was a quick 3-and-out, then they punted the football.
Yeah, and you never want to get stopped so soundly during a series, but what would be even worse now is letting it happen again right here. They've got to get going.
Right there, 40's Mike. It's a party now. 40's Mike, 40's Mike. Watch the out. 40's Mike, 40's Mike.
First down, here's Cousins. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. Oh, and one of the linemen on the other side has got it. And they're going to get the football just outside the 10 at the 11-yard line. He already had the 1 fumble loss, so now 2 fumbles lost here in this first half.
Not setting the pace the way that you want it done. I mean, here in the first half, already twice the ball's come out and hit the turf. Got to find a way to take care of it. Otherwise, they may have to start thinking about maybe someone different at that position.
Now a 1st and 10 at the 11.
Seven's a Mike. Mike 7. I'm coming.
They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. Touchdown, Vikings! An 11-yard touchdown. And the Vikings have got it on cruise control.
Well, we know someone just added to his touchdown passing total, but all he did was get the ball out quickly to his tight end and let him take care of business the rest of the way.
The call is to go for one and kick the extra point. And the route is on here in this first half. A nice tidy little drive there, getting the ball in excellent field position and only one play to score it. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. And this will come out to the 25 as Hamler elects not to return it. And the Panthers coming out now. Last time out, they had the fumble. That led to the touchdown. Not a great look on either side of the ball as the defense gave up the points too, Charles. But they've got to take care of the football and do better here on this possession.
It's certainly been a tough stretch, partner, for both of those units, and they kind of put their defensive mates in a really tough spot there by dropping the ball on the ground. But an easy way to make it up to them, get out there now and get some points on this drive.
Hey, roll Mike 40, Mike 40. Quit talking about it and bring it.
On 1st and 10, Cousins. And this one is going to be off the mark, too far out in front.
But this defense is certainly organized and playing off of each other because the rush is providing pressure and the coverage is forcing incompletions and capitalizing on mistakes. When you get every level on defense hitting at once, you get first half scores just like this one.
And he drops it incomplete, and their struggles continue here. So another incompletion there. He's hitting on fewer than half his pass attempts in this one, and that is not a winning formula.
Yeah, so let's make sure we give a little bit of credit to the defense here. They've given him a lot to think about, a lot of different looks, and he seems a little bit confused trying to complete passes.
And he'll be brought down at the 28, and that is well short of the first. Now a timeout called for by the defense as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. So on now is Johnny Hekker to punt this one away. And taken right on the 30. 13 yards the tally on the return there. And they will take over 1st and 10. And now out comes Minnesota. Well, everything right now that they touch on this side of the football, it seems to turn to gold. They've scored on 3 straight possessions. That lead continues to grow. And, I mean, if they can get points here, Charles, might almost be an insurmountable comeback for the other side.
I think you make a great case for that, so I'm going to flip it over to the other side. Could they make the big comeback? Certainly. Am I expecting it? Not at all. I think if we don't see a drastic change in how they're playing, this blowout's going to get bigger and bigger before the final gun.
Throwing here to start the drive as they connect left side. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. A really nice gain of 25 yards. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. Back to throw here. Now they set up the screen. That's complete. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain.
And when you have success throwing the football, the old cliche becomes true. The playbook opens up wide, and these screen passes, they become even more difficult to stop.
So not quite a first down just yet as they come up on 2nd and less than a yard. Looking to throw. Pass caught here by Osborne. And he is out of bounds right around the 10-yard line. He's got his first catch here before halftime, and it goes for a first down.
Let's just call it what it is. This has been a flat-out struggle for this defense all game long. They've really had a hard time slowing them down. And while I'm not big on speeches and guys jumping up and down, They might need their team leader on defense to get in their face right now and light a fire under these guys. They've got to start playing better assignment football and start getting guys on the ground.
And it's caught in the end zone for the Viking touchdown by Justin Jefferson. A great play there as the first half is winding down. And the Vikings will extend their lead here just before halftime. I'll let you do the analysis, partner, but with every touchdown pass this young quarterback throws and with the success that his team has had, I just continue to be more and more impressed.
Let's both do the analysis. Impressed, aren't we both?
Yeah.
I mean, and why shouldn't we be? We've seen him improve throughout the year. We've seen him settle in now, and you can see the confidence of the team has grown. His confidence has grown. I think that everyone around this guy feels good about what they've seen, and it's also safe for him when he's driving home to turn on Sports Talk Radio. He's okay.
So not much time to speak of remaining in this first half as the kick's away. And not wanting to risk anything here late in the half, he'll just take a knee and they'll bring the football out to the 25. The Panther offense going to see the ball one more time in this first half. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
19 seconds showing to play in the half as they come up here 1st and 10. Now they're just going to run it here up the middle. And he'll just push his way forward for a few as the clock will run. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down. So we hit halftime with our visitors, the Vikings, taking the lead to the locker room. As we'll get you down the coast to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. A lot to get to here as we say goodbye to September and take a look around the NFL here on this first day of October. We'll get our tour started out at Venerable Soldier Field in Chicago. And late in the first half, it's the Broncos who are out on top. Russell Wilson with 3 touchdown passes. Next, we head off to check out another game. And you can see, currently they trail in that ball game. Odell Beckham, a touchdown reception. Finally, let's get up to the place they call Titletown, Green Bay, Wisconsin, to see what's happening with the Packers. And they were winners in that game over the visiting Detroit Lions. Teddy Bridgewater, excellent in the victory as his guys moved to 3-1 after 4 games.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3.
Games.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. The Vikings have to like their position. They've got the lead. They get this football as well as we are back and underway for the second half. Taken at the goal line. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. So here are the Vikings to take over. They're on a 3-game winning streak and right now looking good in this one as well. So 1st and 10 now from the 30.
Seven's a Mike. Mike 7. Think you gonna get this, boy? You think you gonna get this?
They'll start this drive out on the ground. And he's got a good gain of 7 up to the 37.
You know what really fires up offensive linemen? When the guy that is carrying the ball behind them can create his own space and break a tackle along the way.
Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. He'll rifle this one deep right side. And this is, oh my goodness, he pulled it in one-handed. Touchdown, Vikings. A big play there. 63 yards. And the Vikings are pouring it on. Well, partner, I mean, if anybody was still questioning whether or not he had an NFL caliber arm, I think you can toss that right out the window. That was a heck of a throw right there.
I would agree totally. Question it no more. This rookie, big-time throw right there. Great poise, stepped up, trusted he could lay it in there perfectly, and he knew that his guy was going to make the catch on the other end. Nice collaboration.
No going for two. They'll kick the point after. And the lead grows even larger here in the third quarter. Pretty clean and simple there. Just 2 plays. The long pass resulting in the touchdown on play number 2. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And this will come out to the 25 as Hamler elects not to return it. The Panthers offense now, they head back on the field for their first possession of the second half. It'll be Sanders to begin the drive. And they're able to get this one across the 35. 66 yards rushing for him in the ball game now on 14 carries.
Despite the score, despite the deficit, no quitting this guy. He's running angry, running through arm tackles. He wants to change what that scoreboard is saying.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10.
We own them. We own them. Yeah, check. Hey, Mike. Hey, no, switch the mic right here. Go, Mike 40, Mike 40.
Now Cousins. He'll find Thielen working the middle. And down he goes at the 45 after a pickup of 9.
And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him, because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so well, doesn't he?
He really does, and the best part about that play for him, I don't think that was his primary target.
And the 3rd interception thrown by Cousins. And the Vikings are going to get the football here as he gets this up to the 38-yard line. Well, these defensive coaches, they sure like what they've got in this rookie corner, and with good reason, as you saw there.
He only cost him a day 2 pick, and a lot of people thought he had first-round ability. But when he was available on draft night, that was one where you didn't need the full time to make the selection. You call that pick in early, and he shows why he was so coveted with that interception there.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. Well, this offense, this team, they are rolling right now, Charles. They've scored on 3 straight possessions. You look at the scoreboard, and they pretty much right now got this thing on cruise control.
Yeah, and this is that time of game where you and I have to be prepared, right? Isn't this kind of like that empty the bucket time where you have to go into your blowout material and make sure we have some different things? That's what we're staring at right now, the way this one is going. Not a huge play, but I think they're more than happy with how it turned out. Don't be surprised to see them revisit that call, because there was a lane there for more than just 5 yards. Put it in your back pocket and break it out when you need it later.
And give him about 5 as he gets this up to the 48-yard line.
And he continues to pile up the yardage. That puts him over $150 now. And this defense has really had its problems trying to keep him contained.
3rd and inches, and they've got some extra beef up front. 3 tight ends. One back in the backfield, he'll get the carry. On a determined run there as he's going to take this all the way down near the 40. It's a gain of 11 as the Vikings pick up the first. It's been an excellent day for him running the football, no doubt, as he continues to soar well past 100 yards.
Yeah, it almost feels like he can just grab his briefcase and head home after putting in a full day's work at the office, doesn't it?
Now they'll switch it up here and look to throw. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. Second time in this game, Charles, the ball has squirted out from his hands. Luckily, his teammate was there to pounce on it.
You're right. Got the lucky bounce, able to retain possession. You know, we often talk about the combine and why do we measure quarterbacks' hands. Is that really a big deal? It's for situations like this. Do you have the hands big enough and strong enough to hold on to the football while being jostled?
Rookie to rookie on the hook up there, and it's a first down. The play action fake. They'll look to throw. And he's got this to Jefferson. Touchdown! Justin Jefferson. 2 catches, 2 touchdowns here so far. And the Vikings just continue to roll. A familiar refrain, a turnover leads to a touchdown, and that lead grows even wider now here in this third quarter.
Yeah, partner, I'd say there are a lot of grins breaking out on that sideline because, let's face it, they came in thinking they were in for a real fight in this game, but this one's been about as one-sided as we've seen in a while. In addition, if you're a backup, time to start stretching and loosening up. You may get some playing time in this one.
Extra point attempt to come here. And the lead grows even larger here in the third quarter. That time a 6-play drive. And it was all capped off by Justin Jefferson's touchdown reception. Minnesota's kick team ready, and the Vikings boom it away. And this will come out to the 25 as Hamler elects not to return it. Here's the Carolina offense as they get ready to take over here. Well, we're still in the third quarter, so there's some time to kind of clean this up and make it look more respectable. Now, a win, that's probably gone out the window, Charles, but I don't know. Do you look at this as a time to just improve and maybe start to look towards the future?
I think you have to find something to play for, something to grasp onto until the clock runs out. But Brandon, we've been around this game a long time. This is an outlier. You don't get many blowouts like this no matter how the game looks on paper going in. This one has turned out to be everyone's worst nightmare realized.
Ball on the 30. They'll come up with a 2nd and 5. Throwing, Cousins. And that is going to be incomplete as he led him a bit too much.
But they certainly aren't letting up today, partner, because they've forced big turnovers already. And it's been incredibly tough for them to get yards against, let alone put points up on the board.
To throw is Cousins. He's got his target. That's complete. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. Second catch for him today, and it'll wind up a first down.
Well, maybe this offense has learned something from watching their counterparts work. I'm wondering if their coaching staff said, let's do what they've been doing the entire game, because that's worked well. This offense, they have not looked particularly good all game long, but a nice throw there for a good gain and a first down.
Cousins now to throw on first down. His throw incomplete.
And there's another stop. One of the league's best defenses is certainly bringing it again this week.
Hayden Hurst, former first-round pick, the intended target. That'll bring up 2nd down.
Get that ball. Get that ball. Let's go. Hey, Mike, 40, Mike.
To the air again, it's Cousins. That's the tight end Hurst with it. They get 6. That'll leave them with 3rd and 4.
I know sometimes we can get fooled when we watch him make catches, as we just saw him do there, because he really looks like a wide receiver the way he goes about his business.
Yeah, 230, 240 range.
Yeah, not super huge. Maybe not counted on to be that inline point-of-attack blocker that we used to have in the good old days, but you can flex him out. You can run wide receiver routes with him. You can make him a primary target, and that's how he'll...
There he goes left side. And he's going to get this one down to the edge of the red zone. A big one there on 3rd down. They hit for 30 yards. So a big play as it gets them all the way down to the 20 now for 1st and 10. Running right, here's Sanders. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
But not much on that run, Charles.
No, that's exactly the way to execute a run blitz there. They guessed correctly that they would move the ball on the ground, honed in on it, and stopped them. Mark that down for a win in the defense's column.
Here's a 2nd and 8.
On the draw, here's Sanders. And good downhill running. He's got 6 yards down to the 13. Here comes play number 9 now as they come up on a 3rd and 3. They'll go again with Sanders. And that one going nowhere from the start as he's met in the backfield and goes backwards. Tough sledding. They lose a yard there on 3rd.
This is up and good from Pinheiro.
And they'll get back 3, but this remains a large deficit. I'm kind of surprised by that they kicked the field goal. I guess you get some points, but this deficit 3rd quarter, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't either. Yeah, I'm with you on that one. When you're down that much, kicking a field goal, does it feel a little bit maybe waving the white flag and just want to get out of here? Yeah, I think you got to go ahead and try and get some bigger points on the board.
Minnesota now ready for their next possession.
That last drive, it was a good mix. Run, pass, defense on their toes.
And what really helps out in a big way is when you're doing the run-pass mix and everything's working, that means that they're guessing minute. But that's great work with the ball in the air, never gave up, converged on his man, and broke the play up.
And 2nd and 10, he'll look to throw again. He's going to go up top again.
And that almost their first INT of the ball game. Had his sights on it, but he couldn't seal the deal.
So back-to-back incompletions, and that has him staring at a 3rd and 10. Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. He's going to take another shot here. And that is going to be pulled in one-handed. Wow. A big play there for Minnesota. 47 yards.
I would say just add that one to the total of big plays he's already made here in the first month of the year. You've got to think the front office and the coaching staff have got to be excited about what they've seen so far. And real
touchdown, Vikings.
Justin Jefferson,
28 yards.
And the Vikings get another 3rd quarter touchdown to add on to that lead. Well, on the other sideline right now, it's just absolute dejection. But, Charles, let's focus on the positive. With the lead that they've built here, they've done pretty much everything to perfection in this ball game.
They certainly have. Makes me think that their week of preparation was excellent. And they flowed into this game, and it carried over. And right now, I don't expect them to back off at all. They're playing so well, they just want to keep it going.
Now they'll line up to kick the extra point. And the lead grows even larger here in the 3rd quarter. The drive summary, 4 plays, 75 yards.
And it was all capped off by Justin Jefferson's touchdown reception.
Minnesota's kick team ready, and the Vikings boom it away.
And this will come out to the 25 as Hamler elects not to return it. The possession of the football goes over to Carolina. Well, this has been a tough one for them, Charles. They've struggled really on both sides of the football. And one thing that's really plagued them, the turnovers. They've had issues keeping the football in their possession.
And every game that's ever been played, all coaches talk about taking care of the football and limiting turnovers. And in this one, after we saw that first turnover, we worried that things would snowball, and it certainly did, especially on the scoreboard.
Rush coming, and he's taken down. He couldn't get rid of it. He takes a sack for a loss of 6 to bring up second down.
So 4 sacks in the game. Charles, I don't know. Should we think about maybe bypassing Rookie of the Year and just jump straight to Defensive Player of the Year for him?
Oh, I like the whimsical tone in your voice on that one, because what we're seeing right now, Rookie shouldn't be able to do what he's doing, but he's getting it done. A little precocious, this young man.
Protection certainly going to need to be a bit better here on 2nd and 16.
I'm coming after you. I'm coming after you. Mike's 40. Mike's 40.
Cousins. He's got his big tight end. That's Hurst. And he'll go down, and that will do it for the third quarter of action. So they'll get a little extra time to come up with his third down play as we've played 3 quarters. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports.
They're running it. Check. 40's Mike. 40's a Mike. 40's a Mike. Nice, sweetheart.
Cousins. The Vikings after him, and they get there for the sack. It'll be a loss of 8 on the sack, and it's going to lead them to 4th down.
But one thing I do know, these guys on defense, they don't want this game to end. They're winning by multiple touchdowns. They've shut down the opposing quarterback in a big way, and they're still picking up sacks as we approach the end of this one.
Here's Johnny Hacker now, as he's on for the 5th time here today. That's taken it around the 40. Shreds him with a stiff arm.
So a good punt there, but a very strong 14-yard return.
And the Vikings, they'll be set up well as they take over in great field position. 1st and 10.
There's a glimpse of Justin Jefferson, the wide receiver, as he and the Minnesota Vikings return back here on offense.
This defense, they wouldn't mind not seeing him again for a while. 3 trips to the end zone. How about that?
I think right now they would happily go to their general manager and say, is there any way you could get a trade for him? Bring him over to our team so we don't have to cover him anymore? Because he is really having a heck of a ball game, isn't he?
Boy, he is. I don't know that mid-game trade's going to happen, but good thought. And they'll bring him down after just a short pickup.
Kyle Van Noy in on the stop. 2nd and 9 from the 44.
And they'll give him another shot here on the ground. It'll be a gain of 5, but still about 3 yards shy of the 1st down marker, and now it's 3rd down.
Coming up here looking for 3 yards to pick up the first.
On 3rd and short, they'll try and pick it up through the air.
Able to find the open man. That's complete. And he will have a Vikings 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
There's a beautiful throw there, and he's been sensational the entire game, moving it around, spreading it, hitting the right guys. And look, under normal situations, partner, I would expect him to come out of the game now. They've got it in hand. But you and I have been around this league a long time, and every time we ask head coaches about it, hey, why don't you take your quarterback out when the game's in hand? They just kind of give us that look like, that's what he's paid to do. So it's a very unusual situation. I'd want him out. They tend to leave him in.
On 1st down, they'll go to the ground attack. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10.
177 yards rushing for him now as his fine rookie season continues.
Well, that's a carry they have to be satisfied with. And throughout this game, they've been satisfied with what he's given them. Whenever they've needed a big run, a 1st down, he's the guy they've turned to. And it doesn't matter what the defense think.
It's caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. A great effort there. 2 catches, 2 touchdowns here so far.
And the Vikings are going to be moving to 4-0 as they extend their lead. He has really settled in throwing the football, and that touchdown here in the fourth quarter gives him a pretty comfortable cushion.
He may be a rookie, but he's playing like fourth quarter, and the QBing is easy. How about this guy? Youngster, not worried about anything, just cutting it loose and having fun.
Now the extra point. And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead. So that drive spanned 5 plays, and it all culminates in a touchdown for Minnesota. Minnesota's kick team ready, and the Vikings boom it away. And this will come out to the 25 as Hamler elects not to return it. The Panthers about ready to take over. Well, it's been a struggle so far for this offense, Charles. It's not only that they haven't been able to put the points up, but really stringing yards together has been a real issue for them in this one.
I'm so glad you brought up the yardage, because I was thinking to myself, we've seen a lot of NFL games, and we've seen our share of lopsided contests, but in almost all of them, both offenses have put up at least 200 yards in a game, but not in this one. This has been a display of offense that, frankly, I think the two of us have watched from behind our hands, trying to spread our fingers wide enough to actually see the result. Guys with his talent in the pocket aren't supposed to be getting hit like this, and you know an intense conversation with the offensive line is going to occur after this one. Might not be from him, but the offensive line coach will have plenty to say about this game.
Now following the sack, they'll look to make amends on a 2nd down and 17.
Rip left, rip left. Hey, 40's Mike right there. 40's Mike. Check tight end, check tight.
They'll look to throw here. Under pressure, and they got to him again. They'll wind up losing 10 on the sack, and it'll lead to a 3rd and long.
You can almost see all the defenders rubbing their hands together with glee, because we all know they relish the chance to bring down a quarterback of his caliber. Anyone who brings him down has plenty to talk about. Not just a sack, but a big win built off the efforts of this defense.
Cousins with work to do after the sack as he brings his guys up on a 3rd and long.
Watch the screen. Watch the screen. Mike 40. Better bring it. You better bring it.
They'll look to throw. That one complete. He finds Shark. So the completion results there in 9 yards. And that's going to bring up a 4th down.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks, because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target. He's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from, and said, I know how to beat that, and that's what he did.
Yeah, call it 38 yards on the punt, no return. And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. Justin Jefferson and the rest of this offense, they've got their helmets back on, and they're ready for this next series. So far, he has the trio of touchdowns. Obviously, it's been a pretty good game for him.
So if this were hockey, they'd be throwing their hats out on the ice for the hat trick, right? I'm not sure exactly what you do in the NFL except applaud and continue to hope you see a little bit more of this. What a tremendous game.
You want to start a new tradition? What can we throw on the field?
I don't know.
Throw your mic out there.
A lot of fans would like that. Cut his mic off.
3 touchdowns so far. And all the way down to the 7-yard line. A big play there for Minnesota. Give him 52 yards on the ground. Well, for a play that didn't look like much at the snap, that jet sweep turned into a big play in a hurry.
And how about how they ran the play? Because they obviously caught the defense out of position and not expecting that one, and that turned into a nice chunk of yardage. But how about the execution on the handoff? Most of the times we see on the jet sweep, they punch it forward so that it falls to the ground.
And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. Taking it in from 7 yards away. And the Vikings add another 6 points to what's going to be a blowout victory.
Sometimes you get a first and goal and you're back near the 7, 8, 9 yard line and you start thinking, maybe we'll run it here on first down to get half of what we need, so maybe we can have 2 or 3 shots at going for it from closer range. So this is a bonus right here. What a great run to work his way into the end zone.
Extra point right down the middle. And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to that big lead. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And this will come out to the 25 as Hamler elects not to return it. The Carolina offense about ready to go. Where we stand right now in the fourth quarter, this one pretty much out of reach. And Charles, I know they're going to be disappointed about several things with this ball game, but the self-inflicted wounds, they've had several turnovers. You would have to think that's going to be something they're going to discuss heavily in the film session in the coming days.
You're absolutely right about that, partner, because they're going to have to sit in that film room and watch every error that they made and figure out how to not do it in the future. And mentally, I think a lot of the guys are already starting to think about, okay, how do we put this behind us and get better for the next time out? This, they'll use as motivation for the rest of the time that they play to hopefully never be in this type of situation again.
So that complicates things a bit here. 18 yards to go now on second down.
Check. 40's mine. 40's a mine. 40's a mine. So don't say no.
Working out of the gun, Cousins. Sharks got it, left side. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets them up for third down. They'll come to the line here needing 9 yards to pick up the first.
Let's go, Heavy. Heavy, what you got? What you got, Heavy? What you got, Heavy? Give me some. Give me some.
On third down, Cousins. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
And that's another play that's painted the picture of this game overall. It's been a blowout. It's been continually fueled by big turnovers and stops for one side and an inability to advance the ball from the other.
And on fourth down, on is the punt team sending this one away. It's a 43-yard punt, a return of 5. The Vikings offense now, they get ready to head back on the field. Well, they don't really need the points here, Charles, given what we're looking at on the scoreboard, but they've scored on 3 consecutive possessions, 3 consecutive drives, and I'm sure that they would like to keep that streak going here and continuing to pour it on.
And things have gotten that way in the NFL, haven't they, partner? Because in the old days, people would, they'd get off the gas a little bit, right? But now, people continue to accelerate. But we'll see what they decide to do as they come out for this one. But the way that this game has gone, they've got to be awfully happy with their execution overall.
And he's corralled at the 40, but not before picking up 8.
That's it. That's what you want. Straight ahead positive gain. Just keep that clock ticking.
Ball on the 40 now. Here's 2nd and 2. They'll try and run some clock here as they keep it on the ground. And he'll get up near the 45. They'll spot it at the 44. 4 yards the pickup, first down. Hate to be blunt, but it is just continuing to prove to be the case that this O-line is manhandling this D-line right now.
They deserve to roll up their sleeves and show up their biceps because they're doing exactly what you just described, manhandling the defensive front. They've got the leverage, they're powering through, and they're controlling this game.
Off the edge and right to the ball that time was Kyle Van Noy. So a step in the wrong direction. Now they'll look to make amends on 2nd and 14. And he's able to break out of 1 tackle, but then quickly brought down. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So the Vikings in possession of the football as we get you reset. 3rd and 9 here. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. And he's got his man on the out route. And he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. Give him 18 there and give the Vikings a first down. He's been the go-to guy. They needed a big play there on 3rd down. Went his way. It worked out.
Doesn't matter whether they've scouted it or that they think he's going to get the ball. He has a knack for finding his way open and completing the connection.
And he works it past the 30, almost to the 25. With 207 yards rushing for him now on 25 carries. Running game working. They'll stick with it on first down. Eventually wrangled down before reaching the 20, but a strong run. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
I like it. I like the call. Still an opportunity to run the football and chew up a little more time off the clock.
Mike 7, Mike 7.
And give him about 4 on the play, but he's marked short, so it'll be 3rd and about the length of the football. They're going to look to throw. That's to the sideline and pulled in. And he'll be out of bounds, taking it just shy of the 10 at the 11 or the 12. That good for 6 as they keep this drive right on rolling.
A little football 101 there. You just see the receiver try to run down the defender, meaning he goes right at him and really trying to move him a little bit towards the center of the field so he can put his foot in the ground and break to the out, to the sideline, and make a catch.
Now a 1st and 10 at the 11. One back in the backfield, he'll get the carry. And he's brought down. It's a good gain of 11, sets him up 1st and goal.
Brendan, every great running backs coach that I've talked with has always talked about when you have great vision, you're not consciously thinking about your cuts and your moves. You're just doing them. And I think that's what we're seeing tonight. He's about run them into submission, hasn't he?
You took the words right out of my mouth. I was just going to use that phrase. He has run them into submission. And he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly. So he had the nice run to get him down there, was stopped just short of the goal line, but they go right back to him, CD, and he delivers to finish the drive off.
A little extra determination there, don't you think, partner? You notice he didn't tap on his helmet and say, get me out after the run down to the end zone. He said, I almost got in. I'm going to get in on my own. I'm staying in, and he carries it across the goal line.
A try here for the extra point. And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead. So that one a long 11-play drive. And it's polished off by a Viking score. Minnesota's kick team ready, and the Vikings boom it away. And this will come out to the 25 as Hamler elects not to return it. Carolina getting set to take the field. Well, we said it at halftime that they would need a nearly perfect second half to erase that deficit that they were facing, CD, but unfortunately the second half has pretty much been a carbon copy of the first.
Yeah, that early lead was almost insurmountable the way their opponent was playing. And, partner, they do have some good news, though. This one is getting close to being over, and they can try and hit the reset button starting tomorrow.
And this is going to fall to the ground, incomplete. That very nearly their 4th pick of the game. Instead, 2nd down.
That incompletion is not a surprise with the way that this one has gone, and the frustration, the body language is evident everywhere. This team, they've really been put through the ringer in this one.
Stop your whining. 40's Mike, 40's Mike.
From the gun, here's Cousins.
Nowhere to go here. He lost the football.
Oh, and one of the linemen on the other side has got it.
And a 1st and goal coming up here inside the 10-yard line. And I don't know that that fumble is going to matter a whole lot. You look at the deficit here in the 4th. It doesn't matter. The coach on the sideline still scratching his head.
Yeah, not only scratching his head, but probably writing a note or two about we're going to address this come practice next week, because maybe that's the reason we're down this far. Doesn't matter at this point, but being sloppy throughout the game, not going to help him improve.
Well, they probably don't need to run a play here, but you wonder if they're going to be able to resist on 1st and goal. Now it looks like he'll throw here. Flush to his right. And they are going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals.
And this is a balancing act for a head coach with a rookie quarterback. You've got to walk a line with him. You don't want him getting happy feet, but you also don't want to rein in what worked for him in college. And here, he pulls it down, takes it himself, and takes it into the end zone.
Point after try forthcoming. And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead. Well, they got the ball in great field position. One play later, boom, end zone. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away.
And this will come out to the 25 as Hamler elects not to return it. The Panthers out there and ready to begin their next drive. This is just an exercise in futility. Do you even bother running a play here offensively?
I wouldn't, because now is not going to erase what's happened during the game. So after it's over, you're going to go to the film, find out where the game was really lost. But this is not a situation now where you're going to make up for anything.
We'll see what they do here.
And as this defense walks off the field, they can do so with their heads held high. What a performance by the offense, too. I mean, really, Charles, just complete domination on both sides of the football here in this one.
Certainly was, and I think both sides compete against each other all the time. You go at each other in practice, obviously your training camps, your off season, but on game day, you both want to show your best, and I think that's what we saw from both the offense and the defense, a complete team victory.
So for the Vikings, that early momentum continues here as they move to 4-0, and they will head back home next week. Meanwhile, for Carolina, they'll fall back to 500 at 2-2, and they'll look to get back on track next week as they travel up to Detroit to take on the Lions. So for Charles Davis and our entire crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Next game, guess what? Charles and I will be here again. It's the NFL on EA Sports.
Ya estamos de regreso para la narración de las estadísticas y últimos comentarios, ciertamente, de este partido. Y vamos a empezar con las estadísticas del juego. Nuevamente Fernando Álvarez con un excelente partido. Hoy se manejó con más inteligencia, logró el rating perfecto. 18 de 20 pases completos para un 90% de efectividad, lo cual realmente es maravilloso. Y logró 481 yardas y 8 touchdowns, 0 intercepciones. No así Kirk Cousins, que tuvo 15 de 30 completos, 15 de 30 para 146 yardas y 50% de efectividad. Un touchdown logró. No es fácil decirlo con esta defensiva, pero tuvo que pagar muy caro su osadía Le interceptaron 3 veces. 3, así es, señores, 3 veces. Y en cuanto al juego por tierra, tenemos que Alex Álvarez estuvo realmente sirviéndose con la cuchara grande. Tuvo 28 acarreos para 234 yardas, 8.3 de promedio. Muy bueno, no es el excelente que se requiere, que son 10 para arriba, pero tuvo 5 touchdowns. 5 touchdowns. Aparte, los 2 touchdowns que metió el quarterback Fernando Álvarez en 2 acarreos de 10 yardas para 2 touchdowns. Formidable hoy estuvo Fernando. Formidable. 10 touchdowns en su haber. Caray. Sanders, que tuvo realmente un juego muy bueno, ¿verdad? 18 de 78. 18 para 78 yardas. Logró un promedio decente. No bueno, decente vamos a decir, 4.3. Pero pues nada más, ¿verdad? No tuvo ningún otro beneficio. En cuanto a receptores, tenemos a Enrique Álvarez, que estuvo muy certero en las atrapadas de balón. Hizo algunas muy efectivas. Logró 10 recepciones para 360 yardas, 36 yardas por recepción. Y logró 3 touchdowns. El jugador que nos anotó, Hayden Hurst, a base de Cousins, tuvo 5 recepciones para 26 yardas, muy bajito, pero hizo la buena, anotó un touchdown. Por lo demás, tenemos a Justin Jefferson, que tuvo 3 recepciones para 67 yardas y las 3 fueron para anotación. ¡Wow! Entonces así está la cosa. 3 de Justin Jefferson, 3 de Enrique, 2 de Jorge Escamilla. También tuvo solamente 2 recepciones y las 2 fueron para anotación. Y la que comentábamos de Hurst, Hayden Hurst. Nos vamos al bloque defensivo y tenemos que el mejor tacleador fue Chris Álvarez, con 9 tacleadas, 8 personales y 1 asistencia. Tuvo 7 capturas de quarterback y provocó un balón suelto. ¡Wow! Por otro lado, Omar Cole tuvo 5 tacleadas, las cuales todas fueron personales. Logró una tacleada para pérdida de yardaje. Miguel Aranda tuvo 4 y 4 para 8 en total. Artie Martínez tuvo 3 personales, 4 asistencias, 7 en total. Logró una tacleada para pérdida de yardaje y 1.5 en cuanto a capturas de quarterback. Luis Rodrigo tuvo 2 tacleadas para pérdida de yardaje, 3 en total. Estos jugadores fueron los que tuvieron de a una cada uno de ellos: Fernando Zamudio, Artie Martínez, Alan Álvarez, Marco. Tacleadas que hicieron perder yardaje. Y en cuanto a capturas, pues estamos viendo aquí que las 7 de Chris, 1.5 de Benny Escamilla, 1.5 de Artie, que hacen 3, 10, 2 de Carolina, Frankie Lugo y Dante Fowler, una más de Alan Álvarez para hacer 11 en total. Intercepciones, 2 de John Alex, que estuvo muy bien, casi en excelencia, y una de Alan Álvarez. Los que lograron fomear fue Dante Fowler de Carolina, Frankie Lugo de Carolina, y 3 de los Minnesota Vikings, Chris Álvarez, Artie Martínez y Alan Álvarez. Recuperados fueron 3, uno de Sergio Camacho, otro de Benny Escamilla y otro de Artie Martínez. Es decir, los fumbles que provocó el equipo de Carolina no fueron recuperados por Carolina. En fin, el único touchdown de la defensiva fue por John Alex en su regreso de la intercepción. Así las cosas, tenemos las anotaciones por cuarto. Primer cuarto 14-7, segundo cuarto 49-0, tercero 21-3 y cuarto 28-0. Y las estadísticas totales, tenemos aquí que el equipo de Vikingos venció a domicilio a los Carolina Panthers 112-10. Logró contener la ofensiva en 126 yardas, lo cual cumplió uno de los objetivos. De las 781 que logró el Vikingos, 300 fueron por carrera y 481 por pase, contra 77 y 49 respectivamente. 18 primeros y 10 contra 9, 36 yardas de retorno por patada de despeje y 29 yardas de retorno por patada de kickoff. En el caso de Carolina no tuvieron ni una sola yarda porque las patadas de despeje no hubo, y de kickoff todas las que tuvieron fueron de touchback. Los turnovers, 6 de Carolina, 0 de Vikingos. Tercer downs, 6 de 6 de Vikingos, 5 de 14 de Carolina. En cuanto al red zone, pues según esto fueron 9 de 16 contra 2 de 2. En cuanto a touchdown en red zone, 9 contra 1. Field goals, 1 contra ninguno. Y en el tiempo de posesión, prácticamente 2 minutos con 10 segundos, más o menos, 11, en favor de Carolina. Y así las cosas, el partido termina con una contundente y aplastante victoria de los Vikingos de Minnesota sobre las Panteras de Carolina. Y nosotros pues agradecemos su preferencia, su interés en ver nuestros partidos, las ligas que estamos formando, el seguimiento a estos equipos que creemos que van a desarrollar. Y pues nos despedimos, los esperamos la próxima semana si Dios lo permite. Así es que hasta la vista, babies.